You're listening to Speaking Stellar Girl with Terry Tkachuk, an interview series that inspires women to live their most stellar life. Terry is the co-founder of the Stellar Girl movement, and she is sitting down with women all over the world to hear about the key moments in their lives and how they live boldly, compassionately, and ultimately became a stellar girl.
Welcome to Speaking Stellar Girl. I am your host, Terry Tkachuk, and I'm thrilled today to have Sharon Hinnendael joining me. Sharon has, did I get the last name? Got it?
Everyone gets it wrong. It's Hinnendael, but
Hinnendael. Okay, gave it a shot. So Sharon has been a professional model and has been signed with Ford Models for over 20 years. She is an actress and has been in numerous films, television appearances, and commercials. She is a single mom of 2 young children and also took her online Poshmark business and rolled it into a brick and mortar boutique called Sustainable Style. Sharon is a domestic abuse survivor and is here to tell her story of strength and resilience after she escaped the danger with her children and rebuilt her life and is now on a mission to help other women in similar situations. Welcome, Sharon. I am so glad you are joining me today. We have so much to talk about.
yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Well, let's start with your journey and how you got, first of all, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
And I love your boutique. I have been and frequented it, and I cannot wait to go back. So let's talk about where it all began and how you started give us a little bit of background about how you started your business. And then we'll talk about some other things in your life.
All right. So I moved back to the United States in June 2020. And
where did you move from?
I moved from Mexico, from near Puerto Vallarta.
Mm-hmm.
And I was living in a year in Sonora, which is right below Arizona, for a year as well. So I was there about 6 years in total and moved back with my kids, who at the time were both under 2, and COVID had just hit. My daughter was born March 10th and COVID, like the border shut March 18th.
Correct.
And I was in a situation at some point with somebody. I have to be careful. My lawyers are. So at some point with somebody who was extremely abusive and dangerous. And I had to basically leave the country with my 2 kids under 2 and get back here safely. And that was a journey in itself and a whole other.
And that is a story of survival in itself.
Thank you. Yes. It was
you're a one strong woman, Sharon.
You know what? During it was like, is this really happening? And yes, I'm really doing this. And yes, I have to follow through this. And this is crazy. And this is crazy. And it just, at this point, my close friends are like, do you ever stop to just look at how far you've come? And trust me, my therapist actually does that for me. I see a therapist every week. And she points out, like, look how far you've come. And, day-to-day struggles can seem so long, like parenting. The days are long, but the overall time is so quick. It goes by so quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have 4 kids.
Yes.
So it's it just, I got through that, and now looking back, it's like where I was a year ago, even now. Didn't have a job and didn't know what I was going to do, was selling things on Poshmark, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
I basically just worked my tail off when I moved back with these kids. I'm living in Sister Bay in the middle of nowhere, in Door County, Wisconsin.
It's not the middle of nowhere. It's very beautiful.
Well, where I live is in the middle of nowhere. It's a gated nature preserve. So it's really like there's only one other house in the whole area that's there year round. So it's like feels like a bit Snow White-ish in the woods with her 7 dwarfs. But I have my 2 kids and I have 2 Doberman pinchers as well, Cain and Abel. So, I moved back and it's like I'm breastfeeding 1 child. I was still close sleep napping with my son. And I was like, I need to start making money and get back. And like, I have these kids, I have to take care of them. What am I going to do? How am I going to make money from this house in the middle of really kind of nowhere?
Right.
So I have this thing for thrift shopping. I've always thrift shopped. My mom thrift shopped with us because I have 3 older brothers. So
Mhm.
a lot of money goes into like what you're wearing. And if you're fickle like me, you might not even wear one thing that you buy. And then it's that money wasted and that material is wasted. So
Mhm.
I was like, all right, I'm good at, like, I made a list. What am I good at? What do I love? And then just started selling things on Poshmark. I had somebody in Mexico, a dear friend of mine, listing things for me and following people for me. And I was paying her to do that and got 50,000 followers within a couple months. And that's just hard work. It's not like my stuff was that amazing, but
Well, you knew how to market yourself, and your style is incredible, obviously, because you look at you first. And I mean, you're your own billboard. So if you 50,000 followers on Poshmark, and you're able to build a business and start a new one.
yeah. Yeah. And then, that had to be shut down because of this person who continues to abuse me. I mean, abuse is not just physical abuse.
Of course.
That is included, but there's also financial abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse. And from the outside world, I just want everyone to know, from the outside world, when I was living this lifestyle, it looked very lavish. I looked very spoiled, like things were so great and so nice and whatever. Sorry, there's a hair. Um, and but the truth is, things were really, really horrible and scary and
And dark.
just dark. The
And
gaslighting and it just was so confusing. So sorry, I went on a little tangent there, but
that's okay.
yeah. So I was selling things online, and then my dad saw on the news that they were giving away grants. So for new businesses that were moving into a vacant space.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. So my good girlfriend Claudia at the time,
Okay.
said there are these places you can rent downtown Sturge. And the two, like, it was a nice, perfect marriage of like, all right, there's this space that my good friend found.
Mhm.
And my dad's saying there's a grant program, but you have to fit all these criteria. And I'm going through them and I'm like, that one, that one, that one, that one. And I ended up getting it. And I ended up getting it for my business partner now next door and some friends up in Door County, and just spread that love around to some
It's all
people.
about the circle of love, isn't it?
It is the circle of love. And up here, especially in Door County, people really look out for one another. And there's a really strong woman's crew that I hang around.
Mhm.
Ashley Prangy, who's got her makeup line, and then my friend Erica, who shoots for National Geographic. And, there's this place, Pearl Cottage with wine, that's Monique. And there's all these strong women up here, and we all support each other. And even the guys too. I mean, it's just a really nice community of people
Mhm.
who really are looking out for one another.
Mhm.
So
And that's a
really,
beautiful thing. It's hard to come by these days, and it's so you found a space, you found yourself again, and you've built a business, and a successful one at that. Let's talk a little bit about your modeling career before we dive into a few other things. So you've been a model for over 20 years, and you've been signed with Ford, which is the largest modeling agency in the world, based out of New York. But pretty much you can be signed and go to castings and go get jobs anywhere. So let's, obviously you're stunning physically. I know you well. You're also stunning from the inside as well. How did you get into it? Was it always something you wanted to do? Did your mom sign you up for something, or did you just happen to, I don't know that story.
good question. No, it's not like one of these stories. My mom, no,
No.
she's the chillest. Like, no, she's not a stage mom at all. So that was also hard work. I was around 11 years old when I realized I want to travel the world. And how can I do that? What kind of jobs? I was always super focused on, growing up with a dad who was focused on goals. He's a financial guy. So he's like, what is this week's goal? What is this month's goal? What is this year's
Mhm.
goal? So at 11, I was like, I want to travel. I like fashion. I like taking photos. So, back then it was snail mail. So
Yes.
some photos of myself, like just with a random background and with the piano room, whatever. I mailed those out to hundreds of agencies at the age of 11.
Wow.
And
Wow.
got some feedback, and just like, I just worked. You just keep, like, if you really focus on something and you consistently put the work in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's something that is meant for you also, then it'll work out.
Yeah. If you follow your passion, you're unstoppable.
And my parents, I mean, I couldn't have done it without my parents. They supported me. My mom, people are like, you were in New York when you were 12. My mom went with me.
Of course. Yeah.
Before I was 8.
Yes. So you signed quite young and have been working throughout. I mean, it's not like you've stopped working.
No, I never am not working, actually.
And do you still go on casting calls, or do you just get signed for a job now and you just go to the job, or do you still have to do castings?
So it's a different world now in modeling in general, but it's most because of COVID. You know, I'm sure you have the same like self-tape things that we send in.
Yes, we do.
Submit yourself, right?
Yeah, we submit ourselves. Now they send us the poses they want, the looks they want, and you have to look like a teacher, you have to look like a mom, you have to look like someone who's going to go fishing, who knows what you get sent, and you film that yourself and you send it in.
Yeah. So I did a photo shoot for this amazing photographer, makeup artist duo. They're also a couple. These 2 guys are amazing. So I went down to Chicago a few months back and shot that. But really at this point, with my kids, the ages that they are, and living so far up north, I will do a direct booking and fly somewhere. But when I have my kids, I like to have my kids.
Yeah.
So.
And things change and shift. When you didn't have children, you were able to just on a dime go to do what you'd like. But I know that you wouldn't trade them for the world. They're the best thing that's ever always have happened to us moms, for sure.
Yes.
But you know, they come into play a lot. I mean, how you live your life is evolves around your children. And that is a very selfless way to live. And, you know, you have to take care of you. And then you have these 2 innocent, young, beautiful children that you also need to care for and provide for and be there for. So when someone says, oh, look at her, she's so pretty, she can have it all. How do you react to all of that?
You know what? I don't know. I'm a very open book. So anyone who knows me pretty much knows my story. So I really don't think that that's going on. Maybe from outsiders on social media, but my life is really not easy, and I work my ass off.
You can say that. Yes.
I work my ass off, and I have a part-time job doing HR with a company. And then I have this store that I run with no employees. It's just me. And then I'm momming a 2 and a 3-year-old who are just the best. I know every parent says that, but my daughter's a little spitfire and my son is just the sweetest thing. Their names are Henry and Alice, and they're so stinking cute. But people who know my story, they really, or know me, it's not about the glamour and whatever. It's like the day in, day out parenting is what really is at my core.
And that
like
is
what I'm teaching them.
And it's very real and authentic the way you live your life, because you say you are an open book. You know, you do tell your story. You're here to share your story, and you are not hiding behind a story. It's the real you. It's the real you. And that's extremely commendable, because so many people will say, well, from the outside in. I'm like, well, no, I'll let you in because I want you to know me. And if we are going to be together and be friends and work together, I want you to know. And you have an incredible story of strength and resilience to tell. And I think so many women need to hear this from you and from so many others that are survivors. And you are on now a mission to, talk more about your story, or what you can say for right now, because it is ongoing, I assume. And so how are you able to reach these women now? And what are your plans to pay this forward?
So I'm involved with Help of Door County. They helped me massively during, I went to federal court summer of 2020 and I won.
Wow.
So the chance of me winning when we started it, my lawyer said are like 2%. Like, you're not going to win this. So I won on all counts, and I can't go into too many specifics.
Of course,
It's public knowledge, so you can Google it if you know my name, which you do, Hinnendael. So, you know, if you're in an abusive relationship, sometimes you don't even know it until you get a vacation away or a day away. If that person's constantly texting you while they're away from you, and then you're putting out fires everywhere, and you're confused, and your life's kind of falling apart, and you're wondering why. And I just want to say that before this situation for me, I would see women, honestly, and be like, how can she go back to him? Or how can this continue for so long? And I think that's why I got handed this, this is why I got handed this situation, is because I am a strong woman. I'm confident. I am authentic, and I have very planned goals and a direction in mind. And it happened to me. So anyone can really fall into this, and you can get yourself out. Like, if I can do it with 2 kids under 2 and leave a country and move my kids and dogs and be dealing with the court stuff, I'm telling you, it was not easy. It was really, really, really horrible. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, what we went through, my parents and I and the kids together. But here's this. And
it's your story. It's your journey, right?
It's part of my store. That's like why I started this store, is when women come in, I get to know each person. What colors do you like? What do you not? What parts of your body do you want to cover? What parts are you confident about? And then I help pull things that people wouldn't normally think of. And I'll push them just like this much out of their comfort zone and be like, look, you're not going to pay me for this thing until you wear it. And if you don't wear it, bring it back. There's like a trust thing. I don't care. So I get to know women. They start telling me, like hairdresser, when you're sitting with
you're sitting your hairdresser. Yeah.
All your hairdresser, everything.
So
people start saying, well, I don't wear this or this type of thing because this part of my life, because my dad, when I was younger, would pick at that, or my ex-husband would pick at this, or you know what I mean? My mom would make comments about herself with that, and now it's passed down to me. So I get to know each woman and what the emotional blocks are, and then we take them down together in the store through clothing.
That's beautiful.
Because dressing and stuff is so emotional. People don't really realize it. Whether you're not dressing and not caring is also saying a lot.
Of course, because our clothes speak volumes about how we feel, about our moods, about our destinations. And people say, oh, I don't care. They do care. They just don't know how to express themselves, or they need help to, feel, because not everyone can decorate their home. Not everyone can decorate their body, right? They can learn from you and from others and their friends. But this relationship that you've built with all of your clients, and I'm sure when you thrift and when you explore different vintage markets, you have all of your clients in mind. You're like, okay, I think such and such. Is that true?
Like, exactly. Like, okay. I will touch an item and be like, this is for Ashley. This is for Maya. This is for Karen. Like, yes. Just like, I will touch something and I'm like, my sister-in-law, Alicia, boom, like they're right there. And I have a lot of clients, and they're all right sitting there. So
they're all right there on top of your head. So you've just touched some clothing. So can you pull a piece or two and show me some of your faves, some of your newest finds?
So, I wanted to show a bit of this is a vintage sport coat.
Yes.
And it's like the vintage stuff I have is in like new condition. Those are the cool things I get really excited about. This type of
I love a good blazer. I love the camel blazer. Just throw it on with jeans and a tank top and you instantly feel better.
Those are like more dressy things. And then I have, so it goes from an age range of high school all the way to 70s, 80s all the age, you know what I mean? Because I have hipster girls coming in here that are in college. And then I have women who are like, I'm not going to wear anything vintage because it'll make me look older.
Right.
So
you're like, let me show you how it won't. And you have all sizes as well. I mean, you have from zeros all the way up to, average sizes and sizes above that as well.
Yeah. I just got my 2 racks of plus size stuff. I call them my Ava racks. One of my good girlfriends is plus size. She's like, girl, you got to get some more. So I made it a mission the last month to get a bunch of plus size. So I have up to 3 racks and I have a ton of stuff from.
I love you call it the Ava racks.
The Ava rack.
See, it's not the plus size rack. It's your rack. It's the Ava rack.
Bad bitch rack, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Like, all right.
Own it.
Really all sizes and all ages. And I work with all price ranges. And that's at the heart of what I do. A lot of stuff isn't tagged yet. So when people come in, I'm like, just get all whatever you like together.
Yep.
And we'll deal with it later. And you can tell me your situation. We can work around it. You can do payment installations, or I'll just give you a crazy deal if you're local and you come in a lot. It's just every person is different. So I'm not going to have one price for every person. Also, to be honest, my Chicago clients, they don't want to pay $18. They want to pay $48. They want to hear that different price point. It's emotional too, pricing and what people pay and why they pay and why people go to a sale, and you know what I mean? That's
100%.
Like psychology and stuff.
But that's a brilliant way to do business. There's all types of people that want to dress well, and you do what you can for the people around you, and then the people that come to you and travel to you and have you help them virtually dress, help them pack for a vacation, do all of those things. You go to their homes, you put their clothes all together, you put their outfits together and say, okay, for these 4 dinners that you have to go, don't stress about it. I got you, girl. And you pack for them, build their outfits, take them on vacation. And they don't have to think about it. They just know, okay, in this baggie, in this is my accessories. It's for this. And they have the shoes and everything worked out. And that's such an intimate relationship you have with your clients and with all of these women that you dress and style. And that's a story in itself. That's beautiful. And I hear you. I hear what you're saying about, how dressing is so emotional, and what you put on is like your body armor. So it either protects you, or it reveals what you want to reveal about yourself, or it shows off your favorite part of your body. Like, girl, you've got legs. You should wear shorts every day, even in the winter. Me, I'm not going to wear shorts, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Right. And absolutely. So are there other pieces out there behind you that you could, I
have to show some vintage stuff? I just have a total array of different,
you have accessories, you have shoes too, jewelry.
I have these are vintage shoes.
And
these are new shoes.
See?
Similar concept, but one's vintage, one's new. I also have socks that I
cannot wait.
I'm not going to sell.
But it's
underwear.
Sharon, it's purposeful promotion. This is purposeful promotion, and women should be okay talking about themselves and what they make and what they're going to sell for. And you made those yourself. And so talk about them. I want to see those socks.
So I have a bunch of different sock designs that I'm obviously an accessory woman.
Yeah. They make or break the outfit.
Scarves and socks, all, you can wear all black, whatever. And then you throw on these pink glitter socks with a sandal.
Who doesn't love a little glitter?
There's a little bit of something going on there, bubbling from underneath. So yeah, I just had the sock idea. It was how can I make some extra money and do a little, have fun with colors and patterns and things, and have something of my own, really. Because all of this stuff, I love this stuff because it has a story. Like this coat.
Okay. Tell me.
Has a story. This is, I don't know how old it is. Probably from the 80s or 90s.
Yeah.
But totally. Then when I put this on, or when I put a vintage piece on, I had this hat that said Miss D in it, MISSDEE. It was
Okay.
a fur hat from the 30s, maybe. And when I would wear it, it was like I'm putting it on and I'm carrying Miss D with me.
And you're
Whoever that woman was, like,
yes.
I love putting on this coat and being like, somebody wore this and was like rocking it in the 80s or 90s. And now I'm carrying it on for them. There's so much more to vintage clothing, in my opinion, than just like, oh, this is a cool purse. Somebody held this and really loved this clutch, and now you're carrying it on.
Mm-hmm. And I love shopping vintage. I collect it myself. I also talk about this too, like when I go away and travel, and I'm sure you do this as well, as you go into the local boutiques, and I always try to source clothing boutiques owned by women, and local designers that haven't got into the big brick and mortars, that are just in, their own little boutique in Spain, in Mallorca, in Ibiza, and they have their one little space, right? And I seek them out and I shop for them. And then every single time I put that on, it transports me in time to where I was. It brings a memory back. And that is why I love fashion so much.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely love
You
it.
said it perfectly.
So let's add, I have a couple more questions before we sign off. So other than obviously your work ethic, your children, what else brings you joy, Sharon? Like, what else do you do for yourself? What else do you enjoy to do? Because we talk a lot about that at Stellar Girl. Like, of course you work hard. Of course we are mothers. Of course we are business owners. But how do you have fun? What brings you joy?
Okay. The first vacation that I've had in 4 years was about a month and a half ago. And I went back to Mexico.
Okay.
By myself. And I didn't know what to do with myself day one. I was like really wound up so tight, to be honest. I got on this vacation. I was thinking about it, so excited about it. Got there, and day one, I was just like, my anxiety was through the roof because I was like, I don't know how to relax. And it was such a good trip for me to get back in touch with, like, I journaled. I brought my little journal. What do I love? I love biking outside. That's what I was doing in Mexico every day. It's like, okay, maybe I can't do it here for some of the months, like most of them outside. But I love biking. I love just sitting and watching a show. I just finished season 1 of Anatomy of a Scandal. I love to watch something and not have to think about anything, to have that time by myself. Even if it's only 15 minutes before I fall asleep at night, I journal. I'm just starting to do that. Meditation, something I'm starting to add to my life. So it's really more like I have to have this awareness every day to set aside at least 5 minutes. It's usually what it is, really.
Yeah. 5 to 15 minutes is sometimes all you need just to turn it off. The
kids, it's like, and work and all these things. And you can always do more work, but I have to be very mindful, which my therapist helps me do.
I love it.
What did you do for yourself this week?
Yeah. And that's
okay.
It's a great way to live. It's a great way to live. My last question is, because we talk about Stellar Girl, about championing ourselves and celebrating our own personal wins and being okay to vocalize and talk about that, because I think women shy away from that. They don't want to talk about their successes. They don't want to scream from the mountaintops about like how good they are at something, because people look at them as boastful or not as humble. And we need to change that conversation. And that was Stellar Girl's mission, is to change the conversation and to be proud of yourself and support other women in the process. Because there's no reason why I can't be lit, you can't be lit, and be happy for each other. Right.
Yeah.
And so how can we better support and champion women?
That was something from a young age that my dad also taught me, was when someone gives you a compliment, this is how you baby steps, right?
Always.
When someone gives you a compliment, you say thank you. You don't challenge it. You don't say, oh, I like this too. Like, I like your shirt. I like your shirt. No. When someone gives you a compliment, Sharon, you say thank you. You accept it. And that's going to build your confidence. You can start with those little things. Someone's giving you a compliment, it could be an insult. You say, no. So I think women, when I go out in my day, be authentic. If you genuinely like something someone's wearing or something someone's doing as a parent in a store, you're like, that's like good parenting. Say that to that person. Like, I really like your style of parenting. I like how you dealt with that. That's really unique. Yeah. Just go around and make it. If you're going through a hard time, especially, take a lot of that time and stop focusing on you. Even though you're going through a hard time, put it outward to other people, give to other people. It's part of the store. It's like I got to stay here in the United States with my kids and I won. And I was like, how can I give back? People come in, I'm broke or whatever, take these things for free. So it's a daily reminder, like tell people how you feel, tell women how you feel, because this bro thing, you know, like they always got each other's backs. Well, women should be doing that too. That's why I
100%.
love your mission and your stuff, because it's like what should exist and be normal and healthy and support each other. That's
100%.
really what,
And you're a stellar girl. Say
you.
it with me. Say, I am a stellar girl.
I'm a stellar girl.
Yeah, you are, girl. Yes, you are. Well, I will see you on the other side. It was so lovely speaking with you. I know so much of your story is painful, raw, and real, and still ongoing. And we are all here to support and celebrate and be there for you. And I will see you on the other side. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to be notified of new episodes. To learn more about the Stellar Girl movement, please visit us at stellargirl.com.